Hi everyone! Welcome to another episode of Nathan's 3D Factory. In this episode, I'm going to show you how to model a rose. Specifically, I'm going to show you how to do the blossom right, okay? And this is a very basic method I've seen a lot of different methods, and this is the one that I chose to do, alright? So first of all, we're going to get rid of this cube. Then, what we're going to do is we're going to add a UV sphere. Okay, and I'm going to reduce the number of segments and rings, okay? So I'm going to go 8 and 8. And I'm also going to increase the radius to 10. Then the next thing that I'm going to do is that I'm going to take this bottom vertex, do Shift S, cursor to selected. Then I'm going to press Alt G. Oh wait, before I do that, I need to set the origin to 3D cursor. Now I can do Alt G, that's the first step here, and then Shift C to recenter my cursor, alright? So, next I'm going to go into wireframe mode by pressing Z, and here we go. Okay, now I'm going to tab into edit mode, and then I'm going to press C to enable my paint selection. I'm going to take these top vertices, I'm going to press X, and I'm going to delete the vertices. Then I'm going to do the same thing over here. Delete vertices. And I'm going to delete vertices over here. I want to have just a quarter of this so that I can start modeling this, and then I'm going to do some other stuff. So this is going to be our flower petal, right? And I'm also going to rename this to Rosebud. Okay? And then I'm going to take all these, scale along the Z-axis. Oh yeah, before I do that, I also need to go to 3D cursor. I want that for my origin, for where I'm going to pivot everything around, okay? Scale Z. Okay? And then I'm going to extrude this by pressing E, Z along the Z-axis. Okay, and then I'm going to take these two edges, go into edge select mode. Oh yeah, before I do that, also, I'm going to subdivide that too. I'll take those two, subdivide, and then I'm going to go into vertex selection mode. I'm going to join those together by pressing J. And then I'm going to pull those down a little bit by pressing Shift V to slide the vertex. Okay, so we'll slide these vertices, and then I'm going to do these three vertices, making a face. Do the same thing here. Now I'm going to press 2, and I'm going to take those two, subdivide them, and then I'm going to go back into vertex mode. I'm going to grab these. I'm going to take them a little bit out of symmetry here, okay? One thing that's nice about this is the fact that you can take things out of symmetry and it's not going to hurt the result. In fact, it's going to make it better, okay? Now, I'm going to slide this vertex along this edge and do the same right here. And so I just want to have this so that it's not completely symmetrical. And I'm actually going to take this. Okay. And those are going to be some vertices that I'm going to do some deliberate alterations to them, okay? That way it's going to be more of a petal shape. And then what I'm going to do next is that I'm going to turn on proportional editing by pressing O on the keyboard. And then I'm going to start dialing up the mouse wheel. In fact, I need to get out of the 3D cursor for a moment and do median point, okay? So, then I can start doing proportional editing on this, which really is nice. It's very handy for just kind of like taking surrounding vertices and just kind of getting a little bit more natural modeling effect, okay? And then depending on how large you make that sphere of influence is how much you're going to need to edit right here, right? So okay. And then you can also get more vertices to do this. Okay. All right. And then what we're going to do is we're going to turn off our proportional editing by pressing O again. Now we're going to take all of those vertices that we just worked with, and we're going to press the A to select all. Shift D, R. Ah, yes. And then we need to go back into the 3D cursor. Okay, now R, we've already duplicated. We'll put it along the Z axis. Okay, there we go. So you notice it's not perfectly symmetrical. That is totally fine. That is what we want. Shift D, R, Z. Oh yeah. Now this I'm liking here. Shift D, R, Z. Okay. So now we have 4 petals that we can work with. And I'm just going to use this model of 4, okay? And then I'm going to do Shift D. I'm going to scale this, and then I'm going to exclude the Z-axis by pressing Shift Z. And then that's going to scale that outward. And then what I'm going to do is that I'm going to scale that Z-axis downward by pressing S, Z. And I'm going to rotate it around the Z-axis as well. That way, it's not going to be perfectly lined up, because you'll have a little bit of an offset, right? Okay, and then we'll just keep doing this, each layer. We'll do about like 4 or 5 layers of this, okay? Shift, not Z. Shift, scale Z. Rotate Z. Okay. Scale, exclude the Z. Scale Z. Rotate Z. So each time I'm just rotating a little bit, doesn't matter how much. Okay. And then we start looking on the solid here. And we start to see kind of a form that we can work with here, right? So, do these have some overlaps? You bet they do. But what's going to be nice is if we decide to do this into 3D printable, which I plan on doing, then what we can do is we can add another couple things. So I'll do one more layer of these rose petals, okay? So I'll just do L, L, L. And what the L does is that gets our selecting links, linked vertices, right? Because each of these are their own independent units. Shift D, scale, exclude the Z, scale Z, rotate this along the Z. Okay, there we go. Okay, and then we can tab out of edit mode. And then I'm going to do Control 2. And what that's going to do is that's going to subdivide, or do the subdivision surface on this, right? I'm going to shade this smooth. And then next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do F3 solidify. Okay. Now, the thickness I'm going to put at 0.5 to start us out. And we can dial this up or down as we need, okay? So let's say, all right, well, maybe I want to do this a little bit more. Thickness 1. Okay. Now we're starting to see a little bit more definition here. And then we can always go back in and we can adjust some of these vertices as we want to kind of add a little bit of random factor to them. And then we can turn on that proportional editing again, right? So one that I really like to do was just getting the tips of each of these rose buds, right? Just kind of the outer. I can do it on the inner as well. Okay. All right, now I have my proportional editing, I believe, turned on here. Yep, there we go. Now, what I can do is I can dial that up. Okay. And then I can say not Z-axis. I can do that same thing until I get what I want. Same thing on these. Alright. I can also grab these along the Z-axis and pull these down. There we go. Okay. So, gives you kind of an idea. Yeah, it's a bit squarish. But again, this is your basic method on how you can model a rose in Blender, right? So, let me know if you have any questions on this tutorial, how I did it, anything that you might want to do, like to show what maybe your modeling methods are. So let me know if you like this, and by leaving a like, comment, and if you haven't subscribed to this channel already, please make sure to subscribe. So I do these models every single week. So I hope that you'll follow along by subscribing to my channel and making sure that you get that notification icon. And thank you so much for watching Nathan's 3D Factory. Have a great day, guys.